I just honestly think that's what we're going to get. It's just going to be almost a purgatory of up and down and up and down, and a win one week and a fair performance, and then stinkers like that the week after. I'm really struggling at the moment to see the incremental progression with Spurs under Ange. I'm just not seeing that week on week, game on game, little things beginning to develop. Like Villa have seen with Emery, with Unai Emery. You've seen that progression. You've just seen something beginning to grow, the belief, the cultures and everything. Just not seeing it. Just not seeing it at the moment. But look, the away today, the away fans, absolutely brilliant. When we got in there, like singing, getting behind the team, then we shoot ourselves in the foot, which I'm sure we'll come on to. And that was it. It just killed us for the atmosphere. It lifted them. And then from there, team gave us nothing to cling on to and get behind. And, the more it went, the more frustrated people got, and quite rightly. It was just poxy today. Absolutely poxy. Nobody's come out of that with any credit whatsoever, Rick.
My thoughts change with Andrew all the time. I really want him to succeed. The thing is, I don't want us to hire and fire. I don't want us to be in this crazy cycle of hiring and firing managers. It doesn't work. But at the same time, I'd be lying if I sat here and said I'm 100% convinced by Ange. I'm not. Sometimes, like when you look at the game against West Ham, we're amazing. We look brilliant. Everything clicks. The thing for me with Tottenham, this Tottenham team, is that we can't just win a game ugly or just see a game out. It's either we're like scintillating fantastic and Barcelona in their prime, or we're just absolutely crap like today. There's like no middle ground. Or we'd be amazing, but we can't see a game out. Or we'd just be good for 45 minutes against Brighton and then absolutely, the bed and be crap for the next 45. We're just not a consistent team. And that's the worry. Like, we're in our second season. A lot of Ange's players, the team's meant to be molded in his image. And I don't know. I don't know if I don't want to go too crazy because it is going to be a season of ups and downs. But Crystal Palace away from home, a team that hasn't won all season, a team that was really, like, they were on the ropes. They were devout of confidence. They're essentially, Timo Werner FC in terms of, if you look at how they were playing, how they came into the game, they were like Timo, just shot of confidence, shot of belief, questioning their own ability. If we score a goal, or even if we scored with 10-20 minutes left and put it on them, I think they would have crumbled. But we just didn't look like scoring. I mean, credit to them. They did everything they're meant to do. I think like what Crackers and Lee said, they were resolute, solid defensively, wasted time, just did all the little niggly things that you'd expect them to do. Scored a goal. You wouldn't say they defended fantastically. You wouldn't say they camped and sat, did a low blocker. So they actually played their football. They pressed us aggressively as well. We just didn't look comfortable on the ball today. Vicario looked shaky on the ball. I thought he had a really good game. I thought, just like our Crackers and Lee said, the only guy that can really hold his hands up and come out of that with any sort of credibility. Because if it wasn't for Vicario, we'd probably lose that 3 or 4-0, and rightfully so. He made some really good saves. There was one where he was going one way, left his leg out, and he saved the ball. That was a fantastic save. And then also Wharton hit a really good shot that was curling into the top bins, saved that as well. Like, he came out of that game from a goalkeeping standpoint in terms of making saves. He came out looking good. Still question marks in terms of playing out, and sometimes he overforces the playing out from the back. I think sometimes he just needs to actually just boot the ball and clear his lines. We're overforcing it, making silly mistakes, and then looking jittery, and it just gives them the confidence to push us back and keep pressing. But then also from a just an attacking and offensive standpoint, we really didn't create anything today. I didn't really see much going on. Richarlison had a half shot, half chance. Maddison had a shot in the first half where the keeper made a save. Other than that, I don't really recall us doing anything of note. And
with a post, didn't we? Johnson
hit the post. But other than that, Lee, like you said, we could have watched that for another 20, 30, 40 minutes. Never really looked like getting back into
20, 30, 40 years, Pat. We were watching that when I'm retired, mate. Do you know what I mean? 30 odd years. We'll be like,
it's crazy, man. Honestly, when he called, when the referee called 7 minutes worth of extra time, injury time, that's when you really expect the players to have that extra oomph, that extra
Totally agree.
5%, 10%, at least try and get something out of the game. If you're not going to win it, don't lose it. But we just didn't look like actually doing anything. And yeah, I don't know. And Ange, I mean, I haven't watched the pre-match presser. I'm sure he's going to say the same stuff he always says. I just don't know what's going on. Like, I don't really know what Ange is doing with this team right now. It's all well and good being an attacking juggernaut when we play well, but defensively we're still quite shaky. And football goes both ways. You have to be able to defend and attack. Defensively, we're still quite lackluster. Considering the players that we've got, they all look quality players. They all are quality players. Still can't keep a clean sheet to save our lives. But at least if you're not going to keep a clean sheet, score a couple of goals. We couldn't do that today. And then obviously we fall short. So where am I with Ange? I don't want to see him sacked. I really don't. There's no point right now, especially when you look at the managerial candidates out there. I don't really see anyone that could come in and make a difference. But I need to see better from him. I'm not convinced. I'm really not. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, our XG is this and that and da-da-da-da-da and all, I don't really care. The results aren't where they need to be. We're 8th in the Premier League. We played 9 games and lost 4. That is not good enough. I'm sorry. I didn't know what we were doing out there today. We weren't defensively solid. Offensively, there was nothing, no patterns of play. Couldn't hold on to the ball, couldn't do anything. So, of course, we need to get better. And we have to beat Villa as well, man. Last year, Villa absolutely robbed us of 3 points. I don't know how they won that game. We battered them, but ended up losing. This time around, we need to right that wrong. Villa are a really good team. That is the litmus test. They're a team that are essentially top 4, a real good team now. They drew on the weekend against Bournemouth, but they're a legitimate good squad. Defensively solid, good midfield, and obviously going forward, they've got Duran and Watkins. They're a good squad. So that will be a real litmus test of where we're at the moment. Ideally, I want to see 2 wins. Why not? Ange needs to get something right. The players need to, again, Vicario and all these guys coming out and saying, oh, we're really sorry and this and that. Put it right, man. Do your talking on the pitch. Get us some wins. 2 wins, and then we won't get carried away, but at least we'll see some sort of moving forward. Because at the moment, we take 2 steps forward and 1 step back.
Yeah.
Played brilliant against West Ham. Everyone thinks, okay, couple wins on the bounce. Have we turned the corner? And then we go and do this. So I just want to see some sort of progression now. Players taking responsibility. At the moment, defensively, I'm not seeing anyone out there take responsibility.
Yeah, totally agree.
After we concede, no one's really stepping up and saying this is what we need to do. And, I just don't see any of that. Maddison, Romero, these guys are on the pitch. Why am I not seeing?
Vice captains as well. Vice
That's
captains.
it. I'm not seeing anything from these guys. I need to see more. I really do. I see Vicario shouting and going nuts all the time, but he's a goalkeeper. Goalkeepers are nuts. They always do that. Every time they make a save, you see them, going crazy. But other than that, I don't see any of it, and I just really need to see more. Just because Sonny's not playing doesn't mean we should just go to shit. Like, I just don't get it. So yeah, fingers crossed Sonny's back. I'm really pleased for Mikey Moore starting today. It's a shame that it wasn't under better circumstances. The kid's 17. He didn't have a great game, but I don't think that's down to him. Hopefully he can, get a few more good minutes under his belt over the next couple of games. And yeah, I think with Ange as well, I think that the substitutions came at a good time, but I just question, taking off both of our creators at the same time. I thought that was a bit weird. So yeah, just from a manager standpoint and a player standpoint, get it right. And Kulusevski, that's the worst I've seen him play in a long, long time. I don't know what was up with him. He just didn't look at it today. He just didn't look right from the beginning. He was I do agree with you, Lee. I said at the beginning, why did he take him off? But you did put me in check, and I agree with what you're saying. He looked like he was literally a walking red card. He was really bitty and bitey, and even when I think Munoz or someone fouled him and then he kind of lashed out. He was lucky not to get a second yellow there. So yeah, I just think everyone needs to be better on Wednesday.